Just imagine what this church would look like. I think we have 20, 25 small groups. Let's triple that. So you had 75 small groups mobilized for mission, who were balancing these 5 things, who had people in that group committed to one another, committed to their church, not just to Sunday morning and Wednesday night, but committed to being an ambassador for Christ through that church, wherever they were, in their workplace, school, wherever it may be. What would happen in the city? The city would be reached for Christ in the same way that Jerusalem was reached for Christ. The Roman leaders, Acts and Peter, come into town. They say, oh, great. These people, these men who turned the world upside down, now they're here. Great. Why is that? Because they are experiencing movement. Because they were committed to one another. They were committed to the church. They were committed to the church being a vehicle by which God reached their community, reached their world. What would it look like for us if we began to dream again? If we began to think large, if we begin, instead of celebrating only what has happened in the past, and instead of being committed to only what was happening in the past, begin to dream again, begin to be committed to what God might do in the future, and begin to resolve, be devoted to this fellowship, to this church, to small groups, to being in a place where you're balanced, you're ministering, you're fellowshipping, you're growing as a disciple, you're worshiping the Lord. What would happen? What would happen in our city? How much greater things would we be able to do? And so what the purpose of this series has been, and even the purpose of today's message, it isn't just informational. It isn't just to get us excited about who we are. It's not just to tell you who we are. It's to invite you to dream again, to commit to one another, to commit to this church, to commit to the Lord, to expect great things from God as we submit ourselves to Him and His leadership.